through the highs, speaking through the lows, speaking with your mind, with your body and your soul, speaking through the lies until the truth is told. When you speak it right and tell the world what you know.
Season 1 of Speak It has been amazing. What started out as a solution to my frustration has turned into something so beautiful. I have done interviews with so many conversation starters from everything from politics and education to love and self-care. People showed up. In the midst of this pandemic, I've seen beautiful things birth, new businesses, new opportunities, and we're speaking about it. The West African word ashe means the power to speak change or to speak things into existence. To me, that's the heart of Speak It. And as you tune in tonight, this is our season 1 finale. How do we end a season other than with gratitude? I brought together, I'm going to call them queens of their various industries. These are women who have been out working. They have been entrepreneurs. They're taking care of their families, their daughters, their friends. And we came together tonight in sisterhood for the first Winesgiving.
Welcome to Speak It's Winesgiving 2020.
Yes.
Exciting. So what is a Winesgiving anyway?
Yes.
So what is that? It's a simple, small, intimate gathering like we are here today with good friends and with good wine and fellowship. So hopefully today we'll get to learn a little bit more about each other, explore some of the exciting things that wine does to our palate. Learn a little bit about three different black-owned wines, one being straight here from Texas. And so I'm excited to be here and, just share my little bit of knowledge that I've gained. And hopefully we learn something today. You take it back with you to your Thanksgiving dinner with friends and family, hopefully next week, or maybe you're hosting your own Friendsgiving next week, before the big day. So. Again, I'm excited to be here in wine number 1. By show of hands, who's actually attended a wine tasting? Just want to see what level we're working with here.
Average.
Okay, listen, we're learning together. So, that's the fun thing about wine is you'll never know everything about wine. There's always something to learn every time you crack open a new bottle. So that's the exciting part about it. Wine number 1 is OPP, and it's called Other People's Pinot. Now, if you're okay. I love this brand. Maison Noir Wines is the brand for the OPP. Just to give you guys a little bit of background about the Maison Noir brand. The founder, winemaker, Sommelier, he's also a restaurateur. His name is Houston Mack. One of the things I love about his story is it actually started right here in Texas. His story starts in San Antonio. His parents were military, I guess, like they were in the military, so they're not vets. But, they got their start out in San Antonio, met each other, so he went to high school and then also went to college in San Antonio. Okay. As college students, we're out trying to get some income, where you can't be eating ramen noodles for a week. You got to bring in some bread. So he ended up starting, I think a friend of his was working at the Palm Restaurant, if I believe it. Correct, yeah, the Palm Restaurant, and he just randomly applied, got the position, and he began to learn a little bit about wine there. I guess it just kind of intrigued him so much, he started self-teaching, which led him to an opportunity at another restaurant called Bohannon's in San Antonio. It was there that he started taking wine a little bit more serious. He became the sommelier at that restaurant. His story then kind of transitions to Houston. Houston is where he got his big break. So I don't know if you guys have been down to Post Oak Road, right near the Galleria. There is North Italia. There is, what else is over there? There's like 2 or 3 other restaurants. The Whole Foods is over there. But upstairs there's a restaurant called, or used to be called Cafe Annie. And I think it's still Annie something now, but they changed the name. And so he actually was coming down to Houston to compete in a young sommelier, the best young sommelier in America competition. On his way here, he was like, you know what, there's only one person, a master sommelier in Texas at the time, and he wanted to reach out, kind of connect with him and see if he could maybe be like his understudy for that day or weekend. He ended up meeting a friend who connected him to that sommelier because he never returned his phone calls. And so a friend of his knew someone that knew someone type thing and told him pretty much just show up. Just show up and they'll let you in, and that's exactly what happened. He impressed the guy so much that by the end of the night, he ended up offering him a job to work as a sommelier in Napa. So his story, right, and it was at one of the big restaurants down there in Napa called French Laundry. So it was a really big deal for him, and that's really kind of how he got his start in the wine industry.
That's awesome.
From Houston to Napa. So I thought that was super cool. Other people's Pinot, however, so he is out in Oregon. If you are familiar with Oregon, they are mostly known for their Pinot Noir. And it's mainly because of the climate. Pinot Noir is a grape that grows really well in, low temperatures, kind of cool temps, and so it works well as similar to places like France, where it originated. So Pinot Noir is something that you'll find as an old world grape in like France and Spain, and so it's very popular there. Oregon, again, it works well with that climate, and so that is why Pinot Noir in the Willamette Valley is the region that this is produced. So Maison Noir actually started out as Mouton Noir, and then I think got sued. So we changed the name. So yes, if you ever find any bottles of Mouton Noir, that is the same brand, but just some older vintage guys.
Okay. Now for the podcast listeners who don't know what a sommelier is, what is a sommelier, and how do you pronounce it?
Right. So it's sommelier, and they are just a wine expert, someone who's taking several wine courses. They've either gone to SME or WSET. They've either passed their master sommelier class or course, and there's a small number compared to the amount of sommeliers in the world. Masters, I feel like there's maybe a couple hundred, if that.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, to get to that level, you have to take several tests, blind tests, and it's extremely hard. So anyone that you see with that title, they're well respected in the industry. They've done the work. They've tasted all the wines, and they are considered experts.
So you can't just call yourself a sommelier.
No, that's why
Because
I'm
you like
specialist at this point.
Okay.
Not a sommelier, not there yet.
That's awesome.
And so today we're going to be tasting the OPP. Again, if you have not been to a wine tasting and this is your first tasting, I'll walk you through the 5 S's, which is just see, you swirl, you sniff, you sip, you savor, or you swallow. One of the last two. I'm sweating here. So
Savor? What they do when they savor?
you're just savoring the taste on your palate.
Oh, I heard you said savor or swallow.
Right, so it's mainly savor, but I like to say swallow.
Oh, that makes sense to me.
Preference.
Yeah.
So, what we're doing is looking, the first as a C, we're gonna look and see the color, how the body of the wine, how it weighs. Is it heavy? Is it light? When it hits the side of your glass, does it leave a thicker residue?
Long legs.
Does it have legs?
Yes, that's a nice leg.
Yeah, I need to educate me because I thought it was thin.
So this is actually a medium body wine. So this is considered medium body, and legs on the wine absolutely mean nothing. Because that is a huge misconception that legs mean that the wine is this great quality or
stronger.
Or stronger. And that is actually what it is. So it represents the alcohol content of the wine.
Right. Okay.
So if you see it kind of picking up on the side and those tears start to drop, that means it has a high alcohol content.
So when people say nice legs, like I just said, I'm just looking at the lines. That's what I say.
Yeah, the tears of the lines.
A waiter told me that about the legs.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, when people say, "Oh, look at the legs," and they're like, "No, that is absolutely nothing." That's someone who's like, "Oh yes, I think I know stuff about wine." So I'm gonna say, "Look at the legs." Look at the legs.
It was just like, oh, it looks like they're really running on.
Right. Yeah. So the more tears that fall, the higher the alcohol. Okay. So that's something you can take back to, you know, your friends or when you're hosting at home and someone's like, "Look at the legs." You can just be like, "Well, actually."
I would bring you in to tell them because I wouldn't know. I have a question.
Yes, go ahead.
When they say to open it up.
Right, so that is our next step, to swirl.
Okay.
So when you're swirling, you're letting the wine breathe. We do this a lot with red wines.
You're already swirling.
Yeah, or aerating.
I'm about to say, bro.
I always got step 5. But yes, when we swirl the wine, that allows it to breathe, it allows it to aerate. If you notice, if you're a wine expert, sometimes you'll get a gift as an aerator or a combo where it's a spout or, you know, a pourer and an aerator combined. So that kind of allows the wine to do its thing as you sit out and kind of wait for your guests. It'll, you know, allow the wine to breathe on its own. You don't have to do too much.
Okay. I'm about to go ratchet and messy. So do you have to aerate broom spoon part?
She was not.
That's not what I grew up on.
No,
That was my first wine.
It's a malt liquor, so no.
Malt liquor? Oh, no. They done got some
I thought y'all was really for wine.
All the time? Yes, all the time.
all this time.
That's why
They
we
done
got
played
so
it.
messed up all the time.
Okay.
That's
Like
why
you go on
we're
record
so
tab,
proud
never
of
had
ours.
it.
Right.
Because it's malt liquor.
The reason why we like Boone's Farm is because the sweetness, you know, that sweetness in the Boone's Farm, I think it's what, strawberry field? that was the one, but that was very sweet, and so I think that kind of gives the effect that it's actually a wine, but it really is a malt liquor. But
So
I started there too.
I've had beer then.
I started there too. At a young age, before I was supposed to be drinking.
Correct. I know I have Boone's Farm,
Right.
Glory, and
Our next step, again, if you guys swirl, I want you to go ahead and take a sniff. What are you smelling on the nose? These are the aromas. Perfect. Plum. Okay, got plum. And there is no wrong answer. The reason because
It just smells
everybody's nose is different.
A hint of leather.
Okay.
Leather?
There is some woody notes.
Yeah.
And that's it. I always smell
Interesting.
Cedar, okay. There is a little bit of oak, a lot of wood, some aromas there.
They put that in the
I smell raspberry. What I like about it is really fruity. Like normally red wine smells super, especially Pinot Noir.
Right.
They're not that fruity. This one smells really fruity for some reason.
It does, like a sweetness to it.
Yeah, like you do get those cedars, but you do pick up some of the.
specific sample.
Yeah, it's like a woody.
Yeah.
And it seems like I always smell good. That's the only thing. I'm
It's
like,
kind of has some earthiness to it, and you'll be able to taste that on the palate as well. So this is a really good wine that smells like it tastes. Yeah. To me.
Oh,
To me.
To
To me. Some wines, when you smell it, they don't taste the same. And you know, again, our palates are all different. But for me, this one actually smells like it tastes.
what's the etiquette for smelling the wine? Because, right, we were taught in our culture, since we're new, like black girls whining, black people whining, we don't smell the food, you don't do all of that.
Oh, yeah, no. For wine,
What's the
you-
etiquette?
Yeah, wine you have to.
Okay.
Yeah, wine you have
Put your nose in
to.
the glass.
And you dig it so deep. You have to. You
Like,
gotta get it in there. Yeah, you want to get in there and get all the aroma.
Get the effect before you
Yeah.
sip it.
And that is what heightens the palate as well, is when you are able to capture the smell and then it leads
Y'all
right
don't like
to-
dry?
Okay.
I can feel it.
She's like,
I can smell the it's dry, but I love dry.
But I did smell the fruitiness when I did go a little
Right, when you go deeper, you smell, like you said, right away,
The
cherry.
fruitiness.
I smell cherry, I smell even a little.
Is this one a dry one?
This is gonna be dry.
Yes.
It's like,
Oh, my bad. You know, black people don't know how to swirl. Okay, there's a little regular swirl.
yes, there is a little technique to it, for sure.
What's the technique?
However, you can
Just
control
getting in
it.
there with that one.
I'm watching your hand though.
Yeah, she has it down.
Steady in.
Now, one thing I always
That's why she's
observe is
certified.
the drier, the stronger the wine.
I'm glad you didn't hit my
And the
face.
sweeter the.
Not necessarily.
No.
Yeah, because in that case, you would have port wines that are extremely high in alcohol and they're super sweet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
so I wouldn't say that's the case.
It's kind of like a Riesling. It's a Riesling.
Rieslings average probably about 12 to 13, 5 at most.
Yeah.
I wouldn't think they would be that high in alcohol.
I didn't even know it could went
Unless it's a dry,
Yeah,
unless it's a dry Riesling.
What's a good alcohol content? I should say, what should we expect? What you
For Pinot Noir, I'll start there. For my drinking taste, anything 13 or higher is
I was
I'm
like
picking
13
up.
and a half.
Yeah. But for me, for Pinot Noir, I would say anywhere from like 12.5 to 13.9 is a good. And this bottle is actually 13.9, so it's on the higher end for sure.
Okay, that's what you go for, like 12 and up. If I didn't even know what higher than.
Yeah,
I'm in the wrong
port
section.
up to a Madeira wine or a port wine can get anywhere from 18 to 21 or 22. So
Okay.
yeah, there's some that are extremely high.
Oh, wow. Wow.
And it
did not
depends
know
on the
that.
aging.
I need to drink more.
So now we are finally making it to our sip portion.
Here's that moment.
And I'm interested to see what you ladies think. Make sure you're getting the wine throughout your tongue. Let's push it to the back, push it to the right. Because again, when you eat food, you'll put it on the left, you put it on the right, it gives off a different taste. So make sure you do the same thing with wine. Throw it to the back, throw it to the side. I want to hear some of your first thoughts. You thought it would be dry.
I love it.
I love it to be dry.
Is this dry? I love dry.
I'm
So
It's a lighter than
I'm like
I'm
fruit.
It's super earthy on the taste, on the tongue.
I taste chocolate.
I was gonna say,
Okay,
can we get the queen of popcorn over there? I saw your face.
It's just like chocolate.
Okay.
Maybe we should talk about
It's good.
port, but I think dessert wines and.
I like it because it doesn't stay on the tongue long.
That's what I say, it's light. It's lighter than
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the finish is super silky, smooth, and then it disappears.
Yes,
It's a good
very
finish.
light.
It's a good finish. I really like how it's not as bitter that some Pinot Noirs can be.
I agree. Like you said, I'm still learning the wine and trying to figure out which one I like, but I feel like this was one. Her wine starter, a baby. And of course, we graduated from Boone's Farm. Now I know it's a malt liquor. I never did farm.
Right.
You mentioned a Riesling, and a lot of people talk about Moscato. So I felt like I was doing something when I moved from that to Moscato. But I'm more of a strict girl anyway. But the Moscato, is that like déclassé or is it like
No, I love Moscato. The funny thing about Moscato, it gets such a bad rep. And Moscato's done nothing wrong. It's done nothing wrong to anyone. It's really been our stepping stone into the wine industry. And so I hate when people kind of rag on it. Oh, you drink Moscato, you don't know. Moscato is actually a dessert wine. It's a very popular dessert varietal wine. And so Moscato Giallo, you'll see that often. Moscato d'Asti, that is another wine, and it's very popular. So the fact that Moscato gets such a bad rep, I really don't know where this is misplaced anchor.
It's like
I don't understand.
it's like juice.
Right, it's sweet, it's super sweet, and again, that's why it falls into that dessert kind of realm, like a port or a Madeira, because it offers up that super sweet on the
Right, exactly. It's very sweet.
Yeah, it has a lot of residual sugars. You are not familiar with the McBride sisters. Their story is just as interesting. They are two sisters who met in adulthood. One was all the way out in, Central California, and the other out in New Zealand, and they had no clue about each other. And so that is interesting that they both, in their respective wine countries, were learning and starting to appreciate the winemaking process, which ultimately led them together. And so they are the largest Black-owned wine brand in the U.S. currently. So 2 Black women did that. I love that.
Yes.
And they are headquartered right outside of the Bay Area. So, they are, 2 girls who are just doing their thing. I had the pleasure of meeting them both, sweet, sweet women. And I love how they are creating spaces for more Black and brown women to follow their passions and create a new space right along with them in this wine industry. So today we're going to be tasting their red blend. And it, again, is just from the regular collection. This is a 2017 vintage. What are you guys smelling?
A cologne.
Lots
Like
of
a-
oak. Lots of oak.
Oh, that's what I saw. Like a pecan. I don't know why.
Anybody smell any chocolate or
And the cedar.
the stronger
cedar.
one?
The stronger cedar than
Stronger cedar. What about
Which one?
any cocoa or
Cocoa, tobacco.
any raspberry?
Tobacco.
Tobacco.
Really?
I love red blends because if you are a more of a sweeter wine drinker, red blends are going to be your go-to if you're looking to start in the red wine area.
What are your take on corks and screw tops? I know now, for me, it's kind of like not as,
Yeah,
Like you don't care?
like, yeah, it's like whatever.
You don't
Because you
judge?
can get some really nice wines with a screw top now. But when
No.
I was starting drinking wine, I'd be like, eh. But what do you
right.
think about it?
Yeah, no, I welcome the screw tops. The quality is about the same. There's no difference in the quality of the wine. And typically, what I do find is with corks, you gotta store them properly.
Right.
Cork wine, you have to know how to store them
Oh, I know
properly. Because wine continues to age in the bottle over time. Depending on how long you plan on keeping it and the vintage, whether it's super young and it's a collectible and you want to keep it for another year or so, that bottle needs to be stored properly, and those bottles typically will be corked. And so, anything that you're going to drink right away, screw tops work well. But to me, I have no preference. I'm going to drink whatever.
And now you can find like wines in a can and boxes.
Yeah, the industry is completely evolving, which I love. Canned wine is been a trend for a couple of years, but you're seeing more producers getting, a little bit comfortable with producing wines in cans because of the convenience and also the sustainability.
I didn't know that.
Right.
But box wine.
And box wine is never going anywhere.
I never knew they made canned wine. Like canned water. That was-
Almost every wine brand that's popular is starting to experiment with canned wines.
I did not
And
know
they're
that.
doing wine cocktails too, canned wine cocktails. So you'll have like a rosé spritzer in a can, or Moscato something else in a can. So a lot of brands are starting to experiment with wine
If you
cocktails.
had to say top 5 things.
I would say accessory wise, you need an electric opener. All brands. I wouldn't go cheap on the electric wine opener. Reason being, I got one and it broke 2 or 3 days later. It got stuck down in the thing. I'm like, wait, is this thing gonna work? So I would go a little bit pricier on the electric wine opener. Of course, and like stopper works. Any type of aerating system or pour would be good. And then of course your corkscrew. You need a really nice corkscrew. I need one that has the handle. Some people like just the turn. If that doesn't work for me, I'm heavy-handed, so I need something that's gonna get down in there and with ease.
I have a confession. I'm not really good at opening wine bottles.
Okay.
I need to practice.
Yeah, it's practice. Yeah, it just requires practice.
Electric wing. Yeah, that would be my friend.
Yeah, and if not, electric would definitely be your friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would definitely be your friend if you're not good at it. But again, everything comes with practice. The more you do it, the more you get comfortable with it. And then, when you have guests over, you'll be able to just whip that thing out, pull it out, and go.
You all know Shulie has Fear to Freedom, and as part of Fear to Freedom group, she always has us to sell words. And that word is our word for the year, our word for the quarter, and things like that. So this is our activity, so we can set our affirmations into 2021. So I'll start off and just give you an example of how we're doing it. We'll just quickly go around the table. The 2 charms that I have is love and beloved. The second one is it has a list of words: a kind, compassionate, free and true, peace, brave, strong, happy, and thankful. So for these words, for me personally, I know for 2021, these will be my words going into 2021 because they are pretty much a testament of everything that I've been through within these last 2 years. So for me, when I look at love and be loved, I know that I will continue to give love, and when I see the love, I know that I am the love. And with the kind, free, true, brave, strong, it's just a reminder when times get hard for me that I'm free to do what I want. I'm brave enough to do it. Make sure I do it with compassion. Make sure I'm kind with it, and make sure I keep the peace in whatever activity or assignment that I have.
The next one actually says, live the life that you love and learn from yesterday, live for today, and hope for tomorrow. I already love my field that I'm in. I love my family. So now I'm just aspiring to grow more in my significant other and move into that next chapter of my love life with marriage and children and, family.
Yes.
Call it.
Congrats.
Speak it into existence.
That's beautiful.
So for me, I chose I will and wishes do come true. These folks, it stood out to me because, I have definitely been on a journey of also kind of just discovering where God would like me to be. So I will walk into where He wants me to be. So, I guess this is just my affirmation to Him, just to kind of say, hey, okay, God, I will do what you're guiding me to do. So that's just my affirmation moving forward.
Okay, so my 2 charms say, I think this is absolutely hilarious. This one says, give a girl the right shoes and she can conquer the world. Oh, this is wow. And the other one says, I will hold you in my heart until I hold you in heaven. And so I was supposed to go home for Thanksgiving, and I was like devastated. My mom called and she was like, so, I love you, but you can't come. She was like, not because I haven't seen my mother in over a year. So she was like, not because I don't want you to come, but because she's in Minneapolis, and they literally are shutting the state down tomorrow. Wow. She was like, you're either going to get trapped, have to quarantine. She just went through a whole list of things. And my grandmother's 91. She's still petty at 91 people. So she called me, and this is how I ended up going home, because she called me, and then when I was all excited, and she was like, well, who is this? And I'm like, this is Keisha, your granddaughter. She said, They told me I got an older granddaughter. She lived in Texas, but she don't live. And I said, man, 91, petty is canceled, like stop it. But this week was very trying for me with that, because I keep thinking in my mind, she's 91, she'll be 92 January 1st. I need to get there to see her. But this gives me a little calm. And then the other part of this, which is so apropos, if you know me, you know I have a serious shoe fetish. But beyond having a serious shoe fetish, I'm making some career moves that scare me, which is why I know they're the right moves for me. So give a girl the right shoe and she really can conquer the world. I'm taking these steps and people are looking at me like, are you sure? You don't have to understand it. It's not for you to understand it. It's for me to understand it. So give me the right shoe. I'm ready.
Welcome. Give me the right shoe and I'm ready. I felt that.
Y'all are great.
Thank you.
Deep. Okay, so first of all, Amy had to check me, and I talked about it when she was serving these chains, like she was serving communion. I love it. She was sitting there with her arm behind her back, but then I was looking, she's like, no, you can't look at that. I was like, oh yeah, that's right, we talked about it. But I ended up with B, and just B, and believe in love. And come on. But for me, like you said, the significance of B means nothing else, right? Just nothing else is required. All that's required of you, of me, is to just be. Like, that's the I am enough. There's no way, being this, really being delivered from being like this perfectionist, like overachiever, feeling like I have to show up in the world like a certain kind of way. Since, I guess you would say, my journey, my freedom journey, I have been in this place, and even this year, being settled into everything that's going on this year, like, it's important to just be. I don't have to be perfect. My hair doesn't have to, be combed. I've been doing my work virtually, and I'm blessed to be able to do it, and to be in this place where I'm just here. I'm in my flow, and when I'm in my best place. So I am enough. Yeah. And I continue this for 2021. Yeah. And then the believe in love, if I don't get all misty, believe it in love, where I realize, like, people have seen me, or I get things like, they say check on your strong friend, whatever, all that good stuff. But I have been walking in fear when it relates to love. Like, I show up, I've done my business, I've done all of these things, but when it came to, like, putting myself out there for relationships, I had so much, like, I was just afraid. I was really, really scared, because it was just like fear of rejection. Like, I had to deal in that, because you think, people say stuff, oh, my boss chick, I'm this or whatever. So this is good. That was my fear. So believing in love, taking risk in love, showing up, and knowing that what's for me is for me. So I received that.
Yay! Okay, my two charms say, one of them says strong is beautiful, which is interesting. And then the other says made with love. So strong is beautiful is interesting for me because I feel like I'm that strong friend of my friends. Everyone always calls on me. And this week has been a challenging week just because all of my friends have called on me. And I've been tired, but I still respond and show up for them. So it's a reminder that my superpower is being strong, but also I am mindful that I need to take care of my self-care. So I have a trip planned for Mexico next week. And then made with love. So that's interesting because I believe in self-care and loving myself fully, but then I'm kind of not interested in love. So we'll see what that means later in my We'll see.
All right, so my two charms, I'll start with this one first. You are always in my heart. The first two things that popped up to me was I just got out of a relationship, and so I'm just trying to find or make peace with it. And so just knowing that that person will truly always be in my heart, but it's okay to love people from a distance. It's something I've had to accept. Also, the second person that popped up was my grandmother. I was supposed to go to her gravesite in October, and I didn't get there, and so, and I'm gonna tear up because I'm like, ugh. But my grandmother is really my purpose of continuing what I'm doing, and she would be super proud of me just knowing that I've really truly showed up as the woman who I thought I could be, and who I've always wanted to be. So for me, just knowing that I think, and I really know she should be proud of me. So that was the two people that popped up immediately. Secondly, the never give up charm. I feel like 2020 was the year that I could have done it. Right. I had every reason to say, you know what, you don't have to, show up or just be there for self. Your goals are really not as important as your mental focus and your mental health. And so for me,
just allowing myself to keep going without feeling guilty about whatever is happening in the world. Knowing that these are goals that I've set out for myself, and it's okay to, you know, slow down, but never stop. And so I feel like 2020 has truly showed me that it's okay that my plan or my outline of my life does not add up to what I thought it was, but just never stop. Just keep going and you'll eventually get there. So I love that I was able to get these two.
Thank you. See here, my first charm, it says, I love you to the moon and back. So I'm going to think that this is more of a self-love, loving myself to the moon and back, regardless. I think this is probably more like reassuring me to love myself first. You know, I really like this live. The next one says live, laugh, and love, because I don't think 2021, I want to make a better effort, even during the pandemic, to surround myself around circles and people that allow me to live, laugh, and love more. And I'm speaking of positive energy, like-minded individuals, great conversation, and get away from like negativity, get away from gossip, just kind of putting myself where I don't need to be. So live, laugh, and love is going to be 2021, because also I need to self-care and take care of me as well, and everything that I do, try to kind of take away of this OCD that I've created on myself, and then just let stuff fall into place.
So I got I love you, and then the second one I got is always. I'm gonna put those two together. Shulie and we left. Listen, my friends that follow me. So I was like the past couple of years I've been on this love money adventure tour since I got divorced. And so it's been popping. I'm not even gonna lie. I've met a lot of really nice gentlemen on this tour. Even like my ex is still hanging around, but I realized that we're better off friends, and he literally has shown that he loves me always. And I realized that, like you said, you can love people from a distance. And I'm about to embark on this journey to West Africa. I've been to Ghana twice, but this is the longest time that I've been, and I'm going by myself. So I'm leaving December 2nd and I'm coming back February 4th. And this is letting me know that no matter where I am, because my mom, my sister, my whole family were really close. Like they're delivering popcorn for me right now while I'm here. I can tell my mom, and she's traveled all over the world, and my dad has traveled all over the world, and they're like, it's not like when they travel, you know, and they're my parents, so they're kind of like, they know I'm good and grown, but it's like, okay, did you check your vitamins? Did you pack this? Do you have your malaria pills? And so that's their way of showing me that no matter where I'm at in this world, that they're looking out for me and that they love me always. And my sister, she was joking, but she was just like, my friend is leaving. And someone asked somebody else, was like, who do you hang out with? Because I'm like one of those people that knows a lot. Like, I'm cool with everybody. Like, either I fool with you or I don't. That's kind of how I am, right? And then the people that I fool with, I'm kind of close with them. And so they give me love and I give them love back. And so no matter where I'm at in the world, I have friends that are literally in Ghana doing a countdown waiting on me to get there.
Yes. Ghana's great. Ghana's great.
Yeah, I heard great things about it. So of course, with the Winesgiving, do you want to do this for us?
Yeah. Does anybody feel like sharing some of the things that they are grateful for? You know, let's express our gratitude. Maybe go around and just you know, shout out one thing each, maybe.
One, the love of Agave has for me, because if he did not love me the way that he did, I wouldn't be here today. So, and I thank God for allowing me to overcome my personal struggle of darkness so that I could be put in a position to help others with a smile on my face and not allow it to be weighed down on my shoulders. My son, then of course, he keeps me grounded and young. And just the opportunity to be here to develop my business, because God has provided clarity For the first time in my entire life, I said everything that I have been doing and why God has made me has been clear. All of the pieces of the puzzle has been put in place for one big picture, for my purpose and to helping other people. You know, I feel like everything that I've ever experienced in life, from sexual abuse as a child, I'm starting from 5 years old all the way to 15, homelessness, being married to an abusive man, you know, just dealing with the struggle of trying to stay afloat, taking side jobs and odd jobs in the midst of trying to figure out, well, God, what do you want me to do? And then he led me to Houston on the map. All of your struggles, everything that you have ever gone through in life, you are here for a purpose to help somebody else, to overcome, to avoid, you know, to get through. So that's why I created Houston on the map, because I lost a loved one to suicide years ago. No one in the family could help her. None of her friends could help her. And I always felt that if she would have heard the stories of other people who have overcome those hardships, maybe she'd still be alive. So I meet with other people who have made it through, other successful people, other business owners. No matter what industry you're in, if you have a story of overcoming a time in your life where you thought you wanted to give up, I want to know about it. So we can share that story and help someone else. And eventually, you know, we can change the world. And whatever we gain for the show, it goes into developing a homeless rehab center. Because it's not just, it's not a shelter, it's an actual rehabilitation center. It's allowing them to gain their independence again. So through a process. Thank you for having me.
Yes, and just the importance of, again, speak it, right? Again,
yes.
The ashe, when I learned about that word, the West African word, which means the power to change, speak change, or to speak a thing into existence, which I feel like is the foundation of the podcast, which is like, we have to get your story in the long form because it's powerful, you've overcome, and you're on the other side of it. And like you said, just being a light. And as I shared with you before, when I was searching for purpose and praying about it, when God said, you're an answer, and it was like, what does that mean? And God says, when you answer, like somebody has a question, they have a fear, they have a concern, and when you answer, meaning like show up in your purpose,
yes.
and who you are, just being who you are is a part of your purpose, is what I believe. And when you're just like you tap into that, then you answer and then let somebody else answer. And he showed me like a flame, it becomes like a candle. So then you would pass that and you pass that flame on. So yeah, because you answer, Chrissy can answer, Khadijah can answer, and it's the interconnectedness. So
Yes. God put people in place for a reason. And when you said that, the answer, I came across that recently, that you're going to be, God has prepared you to be a miracle for somebody else. So that just confirmed.
I say I'm thankful for my husband for never telling me no.
Support is, I have
He
a,
always rolls, and she knows, he rolls with everything.
to have a mate that supports.
I would say mine is I'm grateful for family Bible study because that's been kind of an eye-opening experience for myself. So yeah, I'm very grateful for that.
Amy is happy their family does a family Bible study.
Oh, yeah.
I'm inspired that we have to do it.
Shulie was our guest
Oh.
on our family call. And she was like, I love this. Meanwhile, they're texting me saying, we love her. And she come back. So it was, yeah.
Our family Bible study, I feel like, has brought us closer together as a family.
It's a great idea.
Yeah, we started out every Monday. It became exhausting.
Going hard every Tuesday.
Yeah. So we're once a month.
Yeah, now it's every other Tuesday.
We get on the phone at 9 o'clock.
Are you the one that was the organized family Bible study?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And it allows family members from everywhere. We have family members on the call from California, New York.
Just the call, no Zoom.
No, well, we tried Zoom. It was an epic failure because we have seniors and they're like, I don't know what to do.
See you go back.
So we do have some that's a little tech savvy they get on there, but it allows us as a family, one, to heal.
That's awesome.
Two, we're actually taking care of family business. And when I say family business, did you pay your insurance policy this month? Did you do your burial? Did you do this? And when somebody says no, we make sure the next call, we have a specialist that come in to educate the family on it's AR. So it's nothing that we don't have covered. So if you see one of my family members with a GoFundMe, just know they wasn't on the call. I mean, we financial education, you name it, we cover it because as a family unit, we all need to be on right. So, yeah. I encourage everyone to do it with their families.
That's a good idea.
Like
everybody.
We need to.
We
call.
That call, what's it? That 1-800
The conference call.
I've been out of corporate a little bit, so I'm like, I get everybody on
we send a reminder that Monday morning, and then an hour before it's time to get on, we send another reminder, and everybody has the number, the call, and we check in. And I mean, there's nothing that we don't cover. Yeah. We even tracking our family tree right now. Yeah. Birthdays, anniversaries, and besides the family, because everybody doesn't have Facebook. So we did our Facebook. No, I love it. We're going on 3 years.
Oh, this is not just since the pandemic.
No.
Yes, no, they true to it.
No, yeah. But I'm saying it started out every Monday, and then we was just like, oh, for real, we gotta get on here again. But we was being released again. I just talked to y'all last week, so now we're every Monday, and if we have another one in between, it's a family emergency, like something happened.
Every month, so every week.
No, every month now.
Oh, every
month.
Once a month.
We were every Monday.
Yeah, that's rough.
Yeah, it gets. You're gonna be excited about it in the beginning, but after a while, you're like, look, I got
it's good conversation. We do Bible study and then it turns into conversation. We establish our family values, like this is how we're gonna live and respect each other, and just like it just really, I felt like it opened me up for sure.
I had some major breakthroughs for myself.
We have
throughout
breakthroughs
the
here.
process, so I'm grateful for that process.
Yeah, I've spoken to several people about it, and they incorporated it into it. So I get excited when I hear somebody else say.
Right, I was like, I need to start with my cousin.
Well, we have an hour limit, 9 to 10. We try to be respectful. Sometimes it goes. Sometimes it goes over a little bit, but we try to, for the most part, 9 to 10, and we're done. I'll fall asleep a couple of nights. Cause it ain't yeah.
Okay, so everybody else
Okay, sure. My gratitude piece for the year is good health. I just wrote it down. I think COVID-19 and the reality of 2020 was very important to be thankful just for the reality of having like good health. And then with my family being so broad, so my grandmother being, I think she turned 93 in September. And then all of my other family members, and we haven't lost anyone. So I'm just thankful for that piece.
That was my first one too, good health, COVID-19 free.
Yeah.
I've been tested at least 5 or 6 times this year, which should have been more, but yeah. I think the one I'm gonna share is resilience. I'm super grateful and appreciate of how I've just been able to keep going. Going back to this, not giving up, and just always finding a way to push through and show up for self. And so for me, it's my resilience.
You said show up for self?
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
Yes. And I like to tell my clients to protect their peace.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Especially in the midst of the chaos.
Yeah, protect your energy, protect your peace at all costs, honestly.
Well, I didn't write anything down, but I can do this on the day, so I can say what I'm
Let's talk about it, Keisha.
I'm grateful for every no that I receive. So mine is the opposite of yours. Your husband doesn't tell you no, he supports your dreams, but I'm grateful for every no, because if I had gotten everything I asked for, train wreck.
Oh, you ain't lying.
It would be a train wreck. Like when I really sit and take inventory, I'm like, you weren't ready for that. You was gonna mess that up.
Speak about that.
I'm like, what you gonna do once you got it? Like, you didn't even have a plan of action. You hadn't thought it through besides wanting it. So now where I am in my life now, it's like, oh yeah, I'm ready.
Yeah.
Come on. Like, you know, I'm gonna get this, and then A, B, and C are gonna happen because I accepted the no and took that to heart. Like, okay, why is it no now? It's not no forever, and that was the mindset I had to switch. Like, it's not no forever, it's just no right now. And so, as all these doors are opening and people are calling me and they say, I need to do this for my business, what do you think? And I'm like, honey, let me invoice you because that's coming. Don't play. God gave me the gift of wisdom for a reason. And he's like, stop giving your stuff away for free.
Yes.
As women, yes.
Before I would have wrote it out for you, typed it up, and emailed it to you,
Yes.
and then watch you make money. I would be like, I missed that. Bro.
Right.
So I'm grateful for every no, because it made me sit down and say, okay, what am I not ready for? Which is why it's still, the answer is still no. So when it comes this time, I'm ready.
That's good.
I like
Hold
her.
up, let me see this invoice before we talk.
Baby, I'm not playing. I'm not playing. There are rates. I like it.
You need what?
You need slogans?
I leave December 2nd. I have a whole Zoom call December 1st.
Oh.
But you're going to pay the
Listen. Slogans, and you need what? You need to know how to merchandise that. Okay.
Yeah.
Hold on. Send me your email. No more games. No more games.
As women, we've heard this, like, understanding your worth, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, we need to do that. Step up, and we're so gifted.
Oh, yes. But I find that it's not, we don't have the issue of being worth what we deserve, because we're ready for it. We just need to charge for it.
Right.
And some people are like, oh, my worth, but you got to show up too. But we've already shown up. We're qualified. We're overqualified. We're quantified. Pay us.
Yes. And we have supported someone else making it
Right.
already.
Yes.
Right.
In the back
you know,
seats.
show your worth and get paid by worth, but you have to show up as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
Know your value. You know, we're not the issue.
Yeah.
Well, I would say for me, one of the things, a little bit of what everybody else has said, but the biggest thing through all of that and all of those little, I guess, facets, for me, I'm thankful for support. And that's on the family side, on the business side, for everybody, every conversation that makes me who I am, to be able to do what I do for my patients, and then just to be like a better sister, you know, a better daughter, just whatever. Like, I'm just thankful for the support.
That's good.
We need that support.
You can't take advantage of it.
I put down, I read all of mine. Family, health, money, and friends. All of those things, man, because 2020, like as a full-time entrepreneur, a lot of you guys know, like, my clients for corporate offices that were ordering popcorn. Everybody's working from home. So now what do I do? And to be able to be like, okay, I'm going to Africa for 2 weeks.
Right.
Like, 2 months. 2 months, right, in the middle of a pandemic, but their numbers are like, they have like 1,000 cases. And they're the same size as Texas, where we have 1 million.
Right.
So I took that into consideration as well. But the fact that my family, like you, like we have so much support. We oftentimes hear, oh, family doesn't support each other. That's not the case in my case, you know. And then health, not to be touched by COVID, like you said. Nobody in my family has been touched by COVID. I've gotten tested because I'm out in the public with, you know, dealing with food to work, being tested, and it hasn't touched us. So when I leave here, I'm taking my zinc and my vitamin C as precautionary, you know. And just friends, man. Y'all are cool.
What would we do without it? So I'll go. Life, family, friends, technology, life again first, because if you don't wake up, nothing else matters. And I'm just so thankful, like you said, we haven't had to attend any funerals of anyone that has transitioned due to COVID, and then just the ability to do what I love, still find purpose, even in the midst of pandemic. Like that is real. God hasn't stopped. And I feel like, 2020 vision, I've said this so much, right? Everybody wanted the rose-colored glasses 2020, and we got for real vision. We have been awakened to the reality of our lives and the things that we need to change. And I feel like this is definitely not a time that we take for granted, right? We can have a clean slate. I've been tuning in, like you said, family Bible study, like going hard for the Lord and understanding how good He is to us. So life is very, very important. Family, I just seen, again, rebirth, sisterhood, just the ups and downs. I think when we talk about sisterhood, like you want to think, of course my family, we're huge, right? And we're more than just our sisters, but when people see us, they see us together. But I feel like just our journey, being in sororities, being in clubs, whatever, but like your blood relatives. So you see sisterhood and you think it's supposed to be all positive. Hey girl, your shoes cute, you this, whatever. But then if you go through like a trial in that sisterhood that threatens to break you, and then to see God come in and say, you know what, we're just gonna use this time and we're gonna grow everybody up. And then when y'all come together, it's gonna be all love and you work in purpose. And like with us talking about knowing that there are things that we still have to do together and we still have to meet and talk about it. But just being in a place where, like even seeing my sisters there, without even going into it, right? Sister fights. Like we good and we cool, but then we fall out. But then when I see them over there, like I'm filled with like so much love and joy. Like we're here. There's no elephant in the room. There's no trying to figure out with any. And then too, sisterhood just in general as women. So we have black women here, and then we have Sister Sarah behind over there. And it's just like we're women in a room. I haven't felt like a sense of competition. Like you talked about for perceived competition. It's just been like all good, all love, talking, sharing, drinking wine. And I feel like, again, because of everything that we've gone through with the pandemic, it makes us realize what is important to us. And all of this other stuff, it just doesn't matter. And then, of course, you got, family, friends. To me, my friends are like family. If I feel like you're my friend, you might as well be, because I can make small talk and, connect with people, but I'm looking for that deeper connection. I want to know who you are and what you're about. So if you are in my circle, like, you're getting me. Yeah. And that's just what it is. And so I count you as family. And then technology, because even though it gets on my nerves, sometimes, and you get tired of social media, but because of technology during a time like this, we have been able to be connected to all those things, like our friends, our family, a Zoom Thanksgiving, or just whatever it is that you need to do. I love y'all.
Thank you for having us.
See us next season, season 2. We promise to have even bigger conversations, even more important conversations. And as we go out with this season of gratitude, I say thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for every time you shared an episode. Thank you for every time you sat in our virtual audience. It's your girl, Shulie, and remember to speak it.